of my favorite vehicles in the small SUV class is the Volvo XC40. We did a review some time ago. If you haven't watched it, click on the link below and watch that full review. In that review, you'll see that I really like the style, first of all, inside and out. I like what Volvo's done with the size of the vehicle, how they've used the interior space, and the exterior dimensions itself makes it really easy to be a good urban dweller going in and out of traffic in the city. Well, for 2021, the XC40 gets even better because it gets a plug. This is the XC40 Recharge. It is a full battery electric vehicle. Well, style-wise, you really can't beat the style of the XC40 in this class, in my opinion. It's edgy, it's modern, and it just doesn't look like anything else out there. The one big difference of this one, though, you can tell, there's no grille. There is now an insert here. And the front emblem here houses not only a front camera for the around view camera system, but also a new radar system. This, of course, comes with the Thor's hammer light system. You have the active LED bending lights up front there. Standard are 19-inch wheels, optional 20-inch wheels on the Recharge. You have black mirror caps, a black roof with black inserts on the actual B-pillar as well. You know what? It's just like the regular XC40. Hey, if it's not broke, why fix it? That's a great style to begin with. Just some small little accents. Right here, you can see the Recharge embossed in black there. Onto the back. Now in the back, you get those signature vertical wraparound LED tail lamps from Volvo. You see the insignia, the badge. It's a P8 all-wheel drive. Recharge right there. And of course, there are no tailpipes since this is an EV. Open up the standard power liftgate, and you're greeted with the same amount of room that you would normally get in the regular XC40. There is no compromise on the interior space with this Recharge. Underneath the floor is where you can find the charging cable, and also up front now, since there's no internal combustion engine, there is a small storage area underneath that front trunk area. All right, the interior of this Recharge is very similar to the regular XC40, but there are some differences. First of all, you see some Recharge badging on the door sill. In behind the steering wheel, you get a standard 12.3-inch display. So you have your gauges, you have your map, your navigation can be projected onto there as well. Beside that, you have a 9-inch center display. Now, the big difference here, though, is this is now an Android Auto-based system. So it's the first of a kind. We saw that first in the Polestar as well. It's very, very quick. It's much better than the current systems in the other Volvos, in my opinion. And I bet you will see this system going and filtering down into the regular Volvo products as time goes on. Now, the benefit of this system is, hey, I use an Apple device, but it doesn't matter. You still have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but if you are part of the Android or Google system, it's even a better experience. So you can go as deep or as shallow as you want into how much you integrate your system into the vehicle. So if you want to sign in with your Google account, for instance, on your phone, you can ask the Google Assistant to do a whole bunch of different things. Let's say, to check your schedule, or even to integrate into some of your daily activities that you would normally use the Assistant for. But in the car, if you don't want to sign on, it's still very handy. Let's say I can say, hey, Google, turn the temperature to 19 degrees.
All right, changing the temperature to 19 degrees.
There you go. Change to 19 degrees. That is simple. Hey, Google, turn my seat heat on.
All right, turning on the seat heater for the driver.
So of course you can use this for the entertainment system, your phone system, or let's say, hey Google, what do I have on the schedule for tomorrow?
For that, you'll need to sign in with your Google account. When it's safe, check the notification for steps to sign in.
Okay, so there you go. So you need to sign in for that type of thing, but you still have a wealth of information that you can get from the Google system. Of course, you have Google Maps and you have weather as well. I can ask what weather it is, and it's all real time. So, you know, Google Maps is one of the best mapping systems out there. So this is a huge, huge thing for this new Recharge. And like the regular XC40, I'm a fan of the styling. It's some really nice Scandinavian design. It's very modern. I love all the touch points. This one has a panel roof, and what's new about this panel roof is to open it, it's actually a touch. So you just slide, just like that. And slide closed. That easy. I'm a fan of Volvo interiors. I like how clean and modern, and they're just Scandinavian design, which it just looks really good. And you know what, I am a fan of Tesla. For instance, I have a lot of friends that own Teslas. A friend of mine just bought a brand new Model Y, which you might cross shop this with the Model Y for sure. And I gotta tell you, you know, it's a cool car. There are so many things, you know, that screen's huge. You can watch Netflix on it while you're charging with the supercharger system. You can make your vehicle fart. You know, lots of little gimmicks out there. First of all, if you own a Tesla, let me know, do those little gimmicks, do they get old, or are they just really cool all the time? But you know what, when you sit in here compared to sitting in a Tesla, like a Model Y, there is no comparison to the fit and finish and just the design of the interior. One thing about this screen, and I've mentioned this on other Volvo reviews that have similar size screens though, this has the around 360-degree camera system, and I just wish they could split up the screen so you would have maybe, you know, 3/4 of it as a round view and a quarter of it of just rear view. You have access to all the cameras here, except you actually have to do individual cameras when you set it. You can't get more than one camera on at the same time. And that's too bad because you do have a lot of real estate here. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Volvo has done a great job for the back seat of this XC40, and this Recharge is absolutely no different. For a small SUV, there is so much room in here. Headroom, tons of headroom, lots of knee room, lots of foot room, shoulder room. Yeah, if you put 3 people in the back here, it'd be a little bit tight, but for 4 people, 4 adults, it would be absolutely comfortable, zero issue at all. You have heated seats in the rear as well, and you have 2 USBs. And I didn't mention though earlier that all the USBs here are USB-Cs, which is why I forgot my USB-C adapter. I only have the regular USB-A for my iPhone, so I really couldn't plug in to show you anything else. But yeah. Okay, you get into the XC40 Recharge. There is no start-stop button, nothing. You just basically just put it in gear and you go. Easy as that. Off we go now. Silent operation, of course, just like every EV. Now we're stopped at a light right now, so we might as well just test out the acceleration while we're here. Might as well, right? So let's see what we got here. Ready? I do have some camera gear in the back. Here we go. That's impressive. You can really feel, especially those front tires actually just really gripping. So the XC40 comes standard as an all-wheel drive vehicle. You have 2 identical motors, one in the front, one in the back. So you get a combined horsepower rating of 402 horsepower, so 201 and 201, and 486 pound-feet of torque. Yes, lots of torque on demand, right at your foot here. And you know, it's just like every EV. It's totally addictive driving an electric car. Tons of acceleration, 0 to 60 in 4.7 seconds, although it does feel quicker than that, than 0 to 100K in 4.9. The power comes from a 78 kilowatt hour battery, and that battery has multiple modules, meaning that if there is a problem with the battery, they can just replace just certain modules so you don't have to scrap the whole battery. That is better for the environment. This battery is also liquid cooled and is also heated as well, so in the winter months you can precondition your vehicle to get the most out of your battery and the most range. It just operates better at the optimal temperature. So speaking of range, that's what everybody wants to know. Range on this is rated at 335 kilometers, and yeah, that is not as much as some of its competitors for sure. Absolutely. You just have to really ask yourself, how much do you drive though? And I do get it though, based on what you get for your money. Everybody wants as much range as possible, but do you really need it? So is 335 kilometers enough range for you? For me, it is enough. However, yeah, I could see some people wanting more range, not because they're driving that much, but maybe you don't have a convenient way to charge all the time. You don't, you live in an apartment building, for instance, and more range just means a little bit more flexibility in charging. I can see that. But anyways, let me know in the comments, what do you think of the range? Is that a deal breaker for you? Unfortunately, I can't go and really give you a full range test because I only have this vehicle for a few hours, so it's not even like a few days, a few hours. We can't really drive that far to really test the range on it. I'm gonna drive it hard, and obviously it's not gonna empty out anytime soon because it is essentially full. There are a lot of other EVs out there that do have a higher range, let's say even the Kia Soul EV or the Chevrolet Bolt, but you have to realize one thing, those are all just two-wheel drive vehicles. This is all-wheel drive, meaning you can drive this year-round. If you go up to the cabin in the wintertime, put on winter tires, this is an all-weather vehicle. As for charging, if you plug it into a regular 240 volt charger, or level 2 charger, it's going to take you 8 hours to charge from empty. And this does charge in DC fast charging as well, up to 150 kilowatts, and that'll take you from 0 to 80% charge in about 40 minutes. Most of the time, I would say, you're just probably going to charge at home, throw it on overnight. Smaller SUVs like this are really handy for urban settings like right now. We're in the city, a lot of construction going on. You want something quite nimble. However, if you do want to tow with this, this will tow up to 2,000 pounds, which is, quite a bit for something this small. This XC40 Recharge has the latest in Volvo's ADAS, which is their Advanced Driving Assistance System. That has all of your frontal collision alert, your blind spot, your lane departure, every mitigation possible, basically it has it. But Volvo has always been synonymous with safety. So not only have they beefed up crumple zones in the front of this XC40, but also they've built a cage around the battery system as well in case of an impact. And you know what? There is nothing kind of cooler than seeing a car wreck. So here are a few images of an XC40 Recharge getting smashed in a crash test. There are different modes you can go into in the center screen, and for driving dynamics, there are a few different options. There's an off-road mode that's going to adjust your traction control. I'm assuming we are not off-road, obviously. The steering feel is set to firm right now. I do like that. And one pedal drive. So when we select that, just like a lot of vehicles, we can basically drive with one pedal. I'm coming up to a vehicle here. When I let off, you get a very aggressive regen brake. Now, all of that braking, almost all of it, here we go. We're coming into a stop light here. I'm gonna let off. Okay. And it is gonna come to a complete stop. Now, all of that braking, other than just a little bit, is the regen braking. And when you get to about 5 kilometers per hour, it's going to use the manual brakes. So it's taking advantage of every last second of recouping that energy. The one caveat with this system, and not just for this vehicle, but just all one pedal driving systems, you know what, it kind of, it's not as much of a smooth flow when you're driving, and I would recommend just do it for myself. I only do it when I'm driving by myself. If I have passengers in the vehicle, I kind of turn it off, because you just have that type of a real herky-jerky type of drive, and some people just don't like that, especially if they're prone to motion sickness. We mentioned that this XC40 Recharge is built off of Volvo's CMA platform. It's a nice stiff platform, but when you add the batteries into the equation, it makes it even more stiff. And this platform was actually designed as an electrical platform right from the beginning, which is very, very nice. The batteries sit very low. There's no compromise, as we talked about, for cargo area. So since they're nice and low, you really have a low center of gravity. And I haven't driven the XC40, the regular one, in a long time, but as far as I remember, it was never as solid feeling as what this one is. This, you really feel planted from all that extra weight. Just when you're driving it, when you hit the bumps, and of course when you're cornering, it really has that hunkered down feel. The brakes are very, very good, by the way. It does not feel like a spongy hybrid type of brake that you would get sometimes on some hybrid vehicles. Okay, I've turned on the Pilot Assist now, which is their kind of semi-autonomous driving system. So I am on just a regular road. I can feel the steering assist for sure happening. But this is really, really good when you are on the highway, of course. But we're coming up to a stoplight right now, and yeah, it's a nice aid, especially if you have a lot of traffic. Not that you're going to go hands off for a long period of time, but yeah, it just takes some of the stress off. So that's it for our quick look at the XC40 Recharge. As I mentioned, we will get this vehicle back for a longer test drive so we can go into more detail about the range, what it's like to live with every day in different climates, check out that all-wheel drive system. But for now, it's just a quick first look. Let me know, what do you think of this XC40 Recharge? How about the styling, the technology, and of course the range? Leave a comment below, I read all of them. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. On the next Everyday Reviews. Take care.